Islam Makhachev's coach Javier Mendez has finally responded to all the noise surrounding the idea that Islam is ducking Ilia Topuria, and he shut that talk down fast. According to Mendez, Ilia has absolutely nothing to do with Islam's decision to move up to 170. In fact, this wasn't some reactionary decision. It's something they've been planning for years, way before Ilia's name even entered the lightweight conversation. Coach also added that if Belal Muhammad had beaten Jack Della Maddalena, Islam versus Ilia would have 100% happened next. The timing would have lined up perfectly, with no better option at 155. Even though fighters like Gagey and Oliveira are coming off wins, it's clear Topuria's hype, status as a former champ, and undefeated record put him right at the front of the line, and it makes sense. If you really break it down, Islam isn't running. He's already done enough to entertain a champ legacy, and with the lightweight title picture temporarily jammed, jumping up for welterweight gold is the next logical step, but it doesn't close the door on Ilia. If that welterweight title fight falls apart, don't be surprised if we're talking Makhachev versus Topuria before the end of the year.
We had that conversation where he told me, Coach, my goal is to, win the more titles here in the lightweight division, defend the title more, and then after that, if a welterweight title comes up, I want to do that. I want to be double champ. And I said, that's a great plan. So this is what's been on stake for him before we even knew who Topuria was. So it had nothing to do with him. It's zero to do with him. It had everything to do with what Islam wanted and the opportunities that presented themselves. And unfortunately, at that particular time, Belal was the champion, but Islam still needed to accomplish the goal of having the most title defenses. But once that was done, now it's like, let me go up if I can.
Yes.
So
yes.
that was the deal there. That was the deal. That's why a lot of waiting was done. No decision was made by anybody until the Belal fight happened, because at the end of the day, I cannot honestly say that they would never have fight. Islam wanted all along 4 to 5 title defenses successfully, then get the welterweight title.
Belal Muhammad has finally addressed his UFC 315 title loss, admitting he made a major tactical error by trying to go strike for strike with Jack Della Maddalena. Known for his relentless wrestling and suffocating pressure, Belal abandoned what brought him to the top and instead opted to trade in the pocket with one of the most polished boxers in the division. The result? 5 rounds of Jack picking him apart on the feet, and a unanimous decision loss that left us without the Islam versus Topuria fight. While Belal had previously neutralized elite strikers like Stephen Thompson and Leon Edwards by blending wrestling with cardio-heavy pressure, he chose to play to Jack's strengths and paid the price. Now weeks removed and reflecting on the performance, Muhammad acknowledged that trying to beat Jack at his own game was the wrong move. It's a rare moment of accountability from a former champ who's usually calculated and cerebral in his approach. This isn't the first time a wrestling-based welterweight champion got overconfident with his boxing abilities.
And obviously for us, what our strategy was to take down Jack. It wasn't to go blow for blow with him, brawl for brawl with him. It's a weird moment when you're training something so much and you're getting better at something, which I think my striking has grown so much, and I always said it. And I when I was saying that in the lead up, I wasn't lying about it. When I was like, bro, I can box with him, I can strike with him. I'm not afraid to box with him. I'm not afraid to strike with him. And I went out there and I just felt good, man. There's like when they say there's a different energy when you're the champion and you gain 20% better. For me, I always thought I was the best in the world, and I still think I'm the best in the world. And I was like, bro, I could strike with this guy. Like, people are coming at me telling me I can't strike with him. And obviously we lost the fight, but bro, we stood toe to toe with him. And people could say whatever they want to say and do whatever they want to do. I went against the game plan. I went on my own.
It's getting wild between Chael Sonnen and Islam Makhachev's team. A phone call between Chael and Islam's manager has started making the rounds online, and the conversation was heated and direct, stemming from Chael's recent comments about Makhachev's move to welterweight. On a recent Good Guy and Bad Guy segment with DC, Chael stirred the pot by framing Islam's jump to the 170 not as ambition, but as an on-quote act act of cowardice, specifically avoidance of Ilia Topuria. Sonnen painted the move as a retreat, saying the lightweight champ was essentially running from a rising threat, suggesting that abandoning a belt to escape a contender was an act of cowardice. That didn't sit well with Islam. Makhachev clapped back online with a Twitter post, calling Chael an average athlete who achieved nothing in the sport, even with his loud mouth. However, in Chael's latest video, he took a step back, denying he ever outright called Islam a coward. Then he went on to reveal a phone call between himself and Islam's manager, Ali Abdelaziz. Let's roll the clip.
I don't think I called him a coward. I definitely don't use the word cowardice. I just don't use the word cowardice. It's too many syllables. I was quoted by somebody in the media as having said that. Now, so what? Well, there was a little bit of a so what. I get a phone call from Ali, and he said to me, my brother, I respect you. We are friends. But, and he begins to defend Islam and Islam's decision to go up to 170 pounds. And I don't argue with him. Now, I don't argue with him because I'm well aware of the decision that Islam doesn't have a problem with Ilia Topuria. This is about I don't want to beat the scale anymore. I'm good with all of this. You must understand. Well, until there is one. Here's what Islam says. Average athlete who built his way to the top with cheap trash talk won't understand that. So please sit and watch how others doing it, Uncle Chael. That's not very nice right there.
Movsar Evloev sends Dana White a firm warning after the title snub. Despite riding one of the longest unbeaten streaks in UFC featherweight history, Movsar Evloev has once again been overlooked, this time in favor of a rumored Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez rematch, a fight many fans see as unnecessary. With 9 straight wins in the UFC, Evloev now owns the 4th longest winning streak in the division's history, and yet the undefeated Dagestani standout still finds himself one big win away from a title shot. Frustrated but not backing down, Evloev made it clear that if he beats one more top contender, he must be next. Taking to Twitter, he didn't mince words, sending a direct message to the UFC president. Quote, I told the UFC I will fight anyone they want, and after I win, I cannot be denied anymore, Dana. End quote. Evloev's patience is clearly running thin, and if he stays perfect, denying him next time might just be impossible. Movsar's resume speaks for itself, and it's getting harder and harder to justify keeping him out of the title picture. He's already stacked up massive wins over top-tier talent. Most recently, he outclassed former champion Aljamain Sterling in a dominant performance that silenced any doubts about whether he can hang with the best. Before that, he handed Arnold Allen his first UFC loss in a clinical, high IQ striking and grappling display. And let's not forget his gritty, blood-soaked win over Diego Lopez, a fight where Evloev overcame big adversity and still came out on top against one of the division's most dangerous rising stars. That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.